Hello, everyone. We are back. It is 2021. We are rid of 2020. Let's hope 2021 gets better. We are with the casually cars. I'm so mixed up. We are with the cars casually gang. We have Nix, we have G, we have Chris, we have Paula, we have Francis, who is in his little man cave, which is really awesome, and we're going to get into that later on. Welcome. One of the things we have been pushing has been safety for the last several years, to be honest. And we did a video with Nix showing how George Ramirez can throw a car around and how even he can use the systems of stability control. I personally have really think that they are a key system nowadays because it's still something that can happen even with ABS brakes and all that. You can still get the car whipping around. Stability control controls that. Having said that, we are very, very happy that people like Toyota have committed to having their entire Vios lineup with that system in place. Having said that, all the new cars that are coming in happily are making sure they have that system. So that system is far more accessible now than it ever has been. And we want to go through all those systems because honestly, people have asked us, okay, do the China cars have these systems? And yes, actually they do. So we're going to get into that. Yes. No, it's very, very good. We're very happy for that. So we're going to start. Who are we starting off with? Who's going to tell us about these cars now?
Okay. I just want to say a note of a context of all this. So back in the day, siguro early 2005 to 2010, ABS was becoming a standard slowly. And then it's around mga 2010 to 2013, 14 where ABS practically became a standard with only a few cars without ABS. So it's nice to see that traction controller is now becoming a standard all the way to mini compacts and cheaper cars.
Yes.
Because we've tested it. Paolo was there, Sir Carl was there, and yeah. And no, it's a huge difference between staying in your lane and ending up 3 lanes to your left or to your right. That's how big of a difference it is. And we'll put it a card on top, so you can see the video because it's an eye opener. And we're glad that Toyota, with their best selling car, the Vios, is putting it on all their cars.
Yep. And we did that. We did that at 30 to 60 kilometers an hour on a high grip surface racetrack. Right.
Yeah, and we went up to 80. We went up to 80, and the difference is staggering.
Yeah, no, it's usable. It's usable safety, no question.
Yeah. Okay. So the first, this is the list of top 5. Well, plus 1. So top 6 affordable cars that you can buy today with complete safety equipment. So to be on this list, it has to be affordable. It has to have airbags, ABS, and traction control, to end up in this list. Which, of course, as usual, G put up because he knows all the info.
G, so what are we starting with?
Yeah. First of all, we've got the Cherry Tiggo 2. I don't know who among you guys have driven it, and what can you say about it?
We'll be getting it soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, of course, the usual plethora of airbags, ABS, traction control, and some other stuff. Hold on. Okay.
Oh wait, we have driven it. Our loving Kevin Limhoff has driven it.
Kevin actually drove it.
Yeah. Wait, let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. It's a crossover.
Yes, it's a crossover. It's their smallest crossover. It goes for around 770,000 pesos. But yeah, as Nick was saying, back in the day, for this price, you'd get bare bones motoring. Not even ABS or airbags. I think back in the day, around a decade or so, or even more, 15 years ago.
Touchscreen, no?
Yep. Now you get all the goodies, touchscreen, infotainment, and
8 out of 10.
As we were saying, the plethora of safety features. which it's trickled down, so it assures uh, whoever will purchase this that they have a margin of safety despite, dare I say, their budget constraints.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty impressive.
All right. One of the things that on the list, well, on our internal list, one of the things this has is ISOFIX. Chris, what is ISOFIX?
Basically, ISOFIX are structures, or it's actually a standard of like tethers or hooks that are located on the back seat, usually of a car, that allows you to connect it to a universal range of child seats. So child seats from different manufacturers, they all have hooks that you can attach to the back seat of your car. And it would be really complicated if they all used the proprietary system for each manufacturer. So they all agreed on one standard, and that standard is ISOFIX. So that
Aspects.
no matter what brand of child seat you buy, it's guaranteed to fit in any car that you get.
Good, good, good. There used to be that you would use just the seat belts, right? So
Yeah.
if you use the ISOFIX system, Chris?
Yeah, I love it. It's really they're just clips basically, and you can fast adjustments to tighten them up. And if you want to remove them, it's just a matter. It's like removing a seatbelt. Instead of having to fumble, I did both because I also
Mhm.
had an old style hand me down child seat
Yeah.
that didn't have the ISOFIX fixtures or plugs or sorry hooks,
Plugs.
and
Someone's
we
the
had to
tech
do it.
guy.
We had to do it the old fashioned way. We had to do it with the seat belts, and it is not
Ah,
fun
kala ko zip ties, but okay.
because you have to put the seat belt through the seat, and
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
it
Hmm.
gets tangled
Okay.
up, and
Yeah, you're
So li-
spoiled, Chris.
no, so without so there's without the ISOFIX, there's still a way to attach the seat
Oh yeah,
through the
yeah.
seat belt.
Remember, these were
Okay.
all
yeah.
I
built
didn't
up.
know.
These were all built up. Yeah, you wouldn't. These were all built up for
Oh.
regular cars before they had the system. So you'd have to put the seatbelt, and there was even issues as to explaining to people, how they were properly put in and so on. And quite often they weren't. Okay, so there. That's an example. What's up next? Chevy
Okay, so
Spark or
Chris
what?
might not like this car because I don't think there's an ISOFIX for the seats. So this is not a Chris car, sadly. But this is Chevrolet's little car, and it's actually a good,
Spark.
yeah, it's a good, enjoyable car. I don't know. I've been enjoying small form factor computers and cars. There's like a brilliance to small form factor.
Is that the least expensive car on your list?
Okay,
No, no.
it will have to be the Vios, I think, the 1.3 base, as in the super entry level. So there's nothing like when it comes to standard equipment, it's as bare as it can get, but mechanically, it's still a Vios. But yeah, okay,
So, so this is not the least expensive, but the least expensive is still a Toyota. That's solid.
yeah. No, but this one has this one has the touch screen, the piano black finish, all that
Mhm.
stuff. Like, I guess on a standard equipment, it's a lot more loaded. So see, like, right over here. Like, if you're fine with bare bone, I guess Toyota is the option.
All right. Okay, what do you got next?
There, yeah. And it is written by me. Oops, sorry
Oh.
guys. Sorry guys. No, but Chris, you got the car right? If not mistaken.
No, we just I was able to drive it for a short while. Um, I think the one who tested it was you
Well, it
because you
says
wrote
here I'm
about
the
it.
one who. Yeah, no, but I don't. I don't remember. Like, I think maybe we got it from Kevin, and then
Yeah,
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
But this is one of the first China cars that when I tried it, I'm like, wow, this is
yeah.
actually good.
It was impressive.
Like, yeah,
How
I
big is
remember
it?
that. A bit bigger than the Altis, I'd say. The
It looks a
Chris,
bit, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's quite large, but not as big as an executive sedan. It's somewhere in the middle,
yeah.
I think it's a compact.
between a
What I would
compact,
say. Yeah.
yeah, a compact and a midsize. So it's a pretty nice size actually,
Okay,
especially
but
for the
that's at eight.
price.
That's at like 8.5, 850,000 something, right?
Yeah.
But it's
But
significantly larger.
Yes.
but
Yes.
look at
Okay.
this, like the equipment it comes with, like well, for those who like sunroof, there's sunroof,
Yeah,
reverse
fully leather
cam,
seats, reverse
touchscreen. Yeah,
camera. It's fully loaded. It's really nice. Power's okay also.
For the price.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So this is the
Okay,
top of
I
the
gave it
line
a good
one at
review.
988.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
But I
just
gave it
just
a good
under a
review.
million.
Yeah,
Just under a million for top of the line, but at the lowest level, it's at the 850s,
yeah.
right?
Oh, I gave it. Yeah, I gave it a pretty good review. Yeah. Well, still remember that I was impressed by it. So.
Okay.
But yeah, what are the safety features here, Gerard? G
Uh,
pala, G.
hold on. Hold on. The safety features are. There you go. Electronic stability program, traction control, and well, of course, the usual airbags, ABS.
Yeah.
But the
Okay,
thing
so
is, yeah, the combination of traction control and stability program
yeah, yes,
ideally makes it a lot safer because there's a backup system
yeah.
just in case.
Because Francis, correct me if I'm wrong. Like stability control and traction control are two separate entities, right?
Yeah, I think so. Those are the two
Uh,
different things.
They're different. Basically, what this all comes out of the ability of the ABS system to control wheel spin and wheel
The
movement.
engine and it cuts off the
So,
engine and the other
well, it's
the
more
wheels.
it's not cutting the engine so much as it's controlling the power that goes to the wheels themselves.
Okay.
If you look at it as the base of what ABS does, ABS just keeps you from the wheels from spinning or locking up or whatever. Okay,
Mhm.
so then from there, traction control is meant to handle the traction, the friction between the road and the tire. Okay, so it
Mhm.
keeps it moving, not moving, and so on. Stability control takes all of that into account and adjusts each wheel accordingly in an attempt to keep you from spinning back and forth. Okay,
Yep.
so it's really just a progression of what we first got with ABS, which is much finer control of the braking system. Now, all these systems come in play with much more expensive cars, for example, or motorcycles, actually. For example, you've got the drift control ability in Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, and that does kind of the same thing, but it just lets you play a little bit more. Even as a matter of fact, Ferrari doesn't call it a safety system; they call it a sport system that just happens to keep you alive. But basically, that all came from ABS. So it's the further refinement of the ABS system that is what is allowing these new systems, each of which technically addresses a little different thing. And of course, every company has their own proprietary name for it.
yeah.
So there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, next, MG
Uh,
or Paolo.
Sorry, the Stonic. The
the
Stonic.
Stonic.
Yep,
Sorry,
Stonic.
Stonic.
This is yeah. This has been a crowd favorite. Like a lot of people have been asking about it.
Yeah.
The PS
It's
Stonic.
pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
I'd say right now, as it stands, the Stonic seems to be the most popular model here right now. Well, at this one, 125,000. This is the EX variant. This is the highest variant. It has dual airbags at the front, ABS, stability control, and an immobilizer. The
Yeah.
interesting
That.
part about this one, for a car of this stature, at this level, it has hill start assist and a rear camera display. So it has a mix of both, like similar to the other models we mentioned. It has a mix of both safety and convenience features. So I didn't really think I would need or want a rear camera for a car as small as the Stonic, but it was actually helpful to have it.
But like,
Uh,
what does rear hill start assist? I mean, how can it help the ordinary consumer?
yeah, if you're for example in a parking lot and then there's a line going out to the exit or going inside the parking lot. Uh, like back then when we would drive manuals, we would have
Yeah,
a hard time. We would have to mix the clutch and the
the
accelerator.
the, the
Yeah, so
what you
it
want,
prevents
it's
you
like that.
from it prevents you from uh, falling back while you switch from the brake pedal to the accelerator. So this is something I would usually see so far in the cars I've driven. It's a feature I would usually see in bigger cars like crossover SUVs or bigger sedans.
Mm.
So it was something that surprised me. It was a nice feature to have.
So yeah, for the price.
Mhm.
Okay, why do you
Also,
think that this is the most interesting or the most asked about car in this group? What makes you say that, Paolo?
well, one because it's the brand. I mean, compared to the Chinese brands like GAC and Cherry, this one rings the name of the Kia name rings a bit more than those brands. So this is something that I guess generally consumers would consider more than those cars, right? Because
Okay,
if
so
you take a Cherry or a GAC, it's like you're taking a flyer, you're taking a chance on it. Like I noticed in Nick's review of the GAC, it's only a matter of time uh,
Yeah,
if it's
tama.
going to be worth it, right? But for the
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kias, I mean, similar to how Toyotas and other Japanese brands are, like you know what you're going to get.
That's true.
Although I understand that the Stonic's prices are a bit higher compared to the Chinese models, so that's something you will consider also.
Yeah.
well, at this point, the higher price is indicative of the fact that people put a higher value on it, right? Remember when the first Hyundai's came out, they were
Oh yeah,
value
they were.
buys, and
Yes.
now they're
Yeah.
not. They're not value
Yeah.
buys anymore
Yeah.
necessarily. I mean, there's a premium to the pricing. So, but yeah, and also this car looks good, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
was pretty stunning when
And
we got there. Paolo with his matching outfit too. So
Yeah,
no, but
yeah,
and also like
yeah.
the Kia brand like globally is doing really well actually. So like I think people have been getting influence like yeah, have been getting influence from the outside coming
Oh
into the
yeah, especially in
Philippines.
Europe, it's doing very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there.
fine.
Okay.
What are the other cars?
The MG5. Yeah, the MG5. It's priced
Yeah,
at 718,000.
I was able
It's
to
got
drive the MG5, and I was really impressed by it
mhm.
because before the MG5 was in the market, the king, of course, was the Toyota Vios. And at the time, Toyota Vios had all these great safety features, 7 airbags, stability control, um, which was unheard of in such an affordable range because these are features that you find in much more expensive cars. So in comes MG5, and honestly, when I first got the car, I was not expecting much because traditionally, affordable cars, I mean, we're used to seeing them cut corners in some places. We're used to seeing compromises. And so that was my mindset coming in. I was already thinking, wow, okay, let's see where the corners are cut here. But when I actually got the MG5, it was the top of the line Alpha, 1.5 Alpha.
Mhm.
I was really shocked because it's incredibly well equipped and it drives really, really well. And I was just blown away at how competitive it is compared to the Vios.
There you
So
go.
yeah, that's my review. If we're talking about safety features, the base model alone, which starts at 658,888, I'm talking about the manual transmission, 1.5 core base model. It comes with ABS, comes with EBD, cornering brake control, brake assist, um, and driver and passenger airbags. Now, where it gets great is the step up, which is the automatic variant of the base model, the MG5 Core CVT.
Mhm.
This includes stability control. Now, stability control in a car that's priced at 718, below 800,000, that was unheard of.
At the
and
time.
I think it's
At
at
the
the time
time.
that was unheard of at the time, and I think it's awesome that you can now have stability control on top of all of these brake assists at at cars under 800,000,
Yep.
Yeah,
because
Yep.
no, it's great.
safety shouldn't have to be one of the things that you compromise when you're buying a car. It really shouldn't. You can compromise on leather seats. You can compromise on climate control. You can compromise on uh, rear parking cameras. But safety, I think, is the one thing that should never be compromised. And
Gotta-
MG did. I mean, Toyota started it with the Vios, and but MG also did really well with this car. The top of the line MG5 CVT Alpha,
This-
which is
the one you could see over here.
yeah, which is what we reviewed at 938,888. So still well under 1 million. This has 6 airbags, including all the safety features I mentioned. So it has 6 airbags. It has the ABS and the brake force distribution and the cornering brake control and brake assist and stability control and auto hold and tire pressure monitoring and all of those things. So
It's loaded.
it's loaded in terms of safety, and it's also really comfortable and fun to drive. And
Fun?
yeah, it's got a touch screen. Yeah, fun because
No, I'm just
it's not a slouch. I mean, it's a light chassis, and it has about 113 horsepower, something like that. Which
112, yeah.
is
Okay. Yeah.
enough. You know,
Why do you think it's a light chassis?
Well, comparably at 1,200 kilos,
Okay,
that
that's
puts
light.
it in the
Yeah.
in the light category. Curb
okay.
weight.
Okay.
Talking about curb weight.
Okay. So you were talking about. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
And
because
then when
Nick was
they said
asking
the
why it was
color-
fun to drive.
When did you do this review? How long ago was that?
I can't remember.
there.
It says February 2020.
2020. Fairly recent.
Right
So that's-
before the pandemic. Yeah.
So within a year, what you're saying is when this came out. No, that can't be. Well, yeah, it can be. When this came out, it was for you groundbreaking in terms of getting that level of safety access
At this price.
at that price.
Yeah,
price,
And
yeah.
within less than a year, then we have had launches of all these cars
Yeah.
that take those same features at lower cost. Now, when MG came into the market, it actually made a lot of waves. This is the second time they've kind of come into this market. And the first time, we questioned them, to be perfectly honest. We had someone walk over. I actually had someone walk over to their office and tell me what's inside their office so we know if they really exist. And they came back and said, "Sir, there's nothing there." That, of course, is different now because it's now with a far more established group that's running it. So, and when MG came in, it made big waves. Having said that, they haven't made waves for a while. I guess they did their launches, and now all of a sudden we have all these other cars that have come out that are doing
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
We still have the same question, which is how long will these cars last? And we honestly can't answer that yet. But in this group, for example, in this list that we've got, you've got the Toyota, you've got the Kia, and that gives you your longevity quest, right?
Yeah.
But then the other ones, it comes down to, are you willing to take the chance or not? So
Yep.
would you take the chance on the MG5, on the MG, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been how many years has it been since they entered the market here? I think it's been around 3 years,
2
Around
years.
2 or 3 years already.
and no nightmare stories yet. At least none that I've heard.
Yeah.
None so far.
I've heard nightmare stories about other brands, but not MG.
And okay, I've been watching reviews of like the MG ZS in particular, like peer reviews from different people, right?
Yeah.
Peer reviews, and so far it's good. Like they've been getting good rapport.
I'm actually curious to see how they last in 5 years to 10 years. You know.
Yeah, that's the question.
But a lot of people took the chance because, like, for example, the MZZS
Yeah, yeah.
I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere because it's like it's an SUV crossover for 800 something. So
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people bought them for their kids in college. A lot of people bought them as second cars, um, and they took the chance. And I
Okay,
guess
does the
that's
MGZS have the same safety system features?
But it's pricier alam, if I remember.
let me
Like
check.
we picked by brand.
I'm just curious because that's the one that everyone talks about.
Yeah. Because it's
But
the
it,
it's the size that everyone's looking for right now, that the
yeah, but see, it's
subcompact
still. I
crossover.
mean, while it's not the least expensive of their lineup, it does come in within the price window of the other cars in this lineup.
It's
Yeah.
still under a million,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
So okay, I'm looking at the brochure. The MGZS MT style, which is their base model, manual transmission. Front airbags. So it has two front airbags, and yeah, ABS, EBD, cornering brake.
Wow, even their top of the line.
Okay.
No, this is their base model. So
Base
the
model.
traction control and the traction control and the stability control, they have both. And hill hold and all of that stuff comes in at the AT style, which is their base model
NT.
automatic. Yeah, it's
How
their
much
base
is that?
model
Yeah,
automatic.
wow. Wow, okay. How much is
So
it, Chris?
I think
the
that's around.
it's 868.
Yeah, because
Oh, not bad.
the top of the line lands at
That's the
998.
Alpha, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
998.
Alpha.
So at 868, which is the style, MG CV2 core style.
You
Okay.
already have the I guess the what we're trying to highlight is traction and stability control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much because we have to assume that, I mean, we wouldn't even be discussing this if we didn't have ABS, right?
Yeah,
So
because ABS and airbags are already, a standard.
So the
So
MG. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay. AT style has front airbags. But it's only the AT Alpha, the top of the line, that has the 6 airbags.
6 airbags.
Two in
Okay.
the front, then the side and curtain airbags.
Yeah,
So the top of the line AT Alpha is the only one with 6 airbags. Besides that, it has two. Anything lower than that, it has 2 airbags.
Yeah. Which I think is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But still under a million at 900. I mean,
Mhm.
With traction control, that's a huge difference.
right.
yeah.
Okay, well, we have one more car on the list that you guys gave, and that's brand new to our market anyway. It's the Chang'an, right?
Shanghai. Yeah.
Which we do not know much about.
Sorry.
They did ask us to drive it, in all honesty, but we're making our choices on what we do very, very carefully in terms of what we ask people to attend and so on during this pandemic craziness. Oh, it's a really interesting picture to use.
From Wikipedia.
Anyway, okay, so the Chang'an, who knows about the Chang'an?
No, G would know.
G.
All I know is that it has the usual traction control, ABS, and dual airbags. And the reverse camera. But that's pretty much it. And it comes in at 679,000 for the top of the line model. I think
Wow.
it competes against. It's supposed to, at least in terms of its size, it's pitted against the likes of the Vios. So
Yeah.
they're punching above their weight, so to speak.
I think it's even a sports model because look at the steering wheel. There's like that red in the center,
Oh,
racer,
well, yeah.
and then there's a sporty signature over here. So I think this is like a sports model.
Those might be accessories.
Pretty much.
Well, we
yeah,
shall
pretty
see.
much accessories. So yeah,
So basically,
Plus 5 horsepower, right, Francis? This one, the
Yeah.
sticker.
Yeah, don't forget those alloy wheels too.
Yeah. Plus 2 horsepower.
so within our range, within these cars, we started with a list of 6 or 7 cars, right?
7.
What
I
are the
think now.
what are the flyers? Paul and I were discussing this because he was driving the Suzuki Jimny and the Suzuki XL7,
XL7.
and that had Did that have stability control, Paolo, or no? The Jimny.
The
Uh,
think
Jimmy's
Paolo's
supposed to
frozen.
have, but more of like off-roading kind of a
The
setup.
Yeah.
all trip, 4-wheel drive, I think, but that's
Yeah.
let me check. Let me check.
Well, that's not stability, but
Yeah,
more
it's not-
traction.
yes for grip. For
Oh, because we know
our-
the XL7 did, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd
So,
actually
no,
be
no, because-
frightened to take high corners at high speed on the chimney.
Yeah.
I'd be worried.
But
Yeah.
having said that, it's such a fun little car. Anyway, okay, never mind that. Okay, so basically, this is what we're looking at. Who's got favorites?
Okay,
Who's got favorites here?
I think for me my favorite might be if I were to like pick one of these cars to take out for safety, I think the GAC GA4 would be my pick.
Why?
I
It looks familiar, the styling. I find the styling like good, and then GAC has so far have good customer service so far. I have like what Chris said, no horror stories yet from GAC. And I'm more of a sedan guy than an SUV guy.
Okay, can you put a photo up of that, please?
Okay. Let me get it.
Thought you were a pickup guy.
It changes.
It's,
Sometimes
it's 2021.
2021.
Chris.
It changes, but look at what Paolo's gone to, right? From the G50 to
wait a
the
minute.
Jimny, right?
I didn't
So-
really say the G50 was my favorite car.
I
was
know.
just
We're
that
just
it was
messing with
okay.
you. We're just messing with you.
It's the
Okay, so-
Mercado car.
So if
There you
Nix's
go.
choice
It's mine.
is the GAC, who else has got a favorite?
I'd go for the Kia Stonic. It's a bit pricier than the rest, but I guess you get a good mix of pretty much everything. The crossover versatility, and then the safety, and it's pretty stylish for what it is. I mean, even for someone who's midlife like me, it appeals to my taste. So
Right, but it's 200 grand more.
yes, that's the thing. But as Paolo said, you are getting the Kia brand reliability, so that should account for something.
All right, and we know. I mean, when we picked this car up, right? We were there in their new facility, their new logistical facility, and they really had. I mean, they made a commitment to keeping these cars fully stocked in terms of parts. So
That's another-
There is
that's
a lot
another-
to be said for that. Yeah.
You have that peace of mind that if anything goes wrong, there should be parts available. So
Yeah. Chris, your call.
Among this list, I would have to go with the MG. The MG5 Alpha is actually a car that I would buy for myself if I had a lot of faith in MG.
well, then,
Which I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I don't, but I'm
You
a
brought
wait,
it up.
I'm
I
a
shared
wait
it.
and see kind of guy, and like I said, I'd want to see how they perform in at least 5 years. I want to see what the secondhand market will look like also in 5 years. So, but barring all of that, let's say it's gonna run perfectly for the next 10 years with absolutely no problem. Taking the car for what it is, I would definitely buy this for myself.
yeah,
Okay, but those are all things that like what ifs, right? I mean, if you had to right now, would you buy
With
this
the
car?
risks
knowing
involved.
what you know right
Yeah.
now?
If I had a strict budget, my choices would be very limited, but this would definitely be in one of the top three.
Right. What would be the other two? I'm not gonna. I'm putting you on the spot, man.
For the kind of money that you put towards this car, the other two would, of course, you'd have to put a Vios in there, and maybe a Kia Soluto.
Does the Kia Soluto have this traction control systems?
Alam ko wala.
No,
Bakit?
unfortunately,
doesn't.
none. But
Okay.
You put airbags, ABS.
Okay. Would you, given that car, the Soluto, which we know you like the Soluto a lot, right?
Yeah.
Would you go with that over a car that had the proper stability systems?
Well, it's a trade-off, you know. It's like when you buy a car with safety, but the other interior features aren't that great, you're actually it's like you're buying with okay. Let me rephrase that. You basically have to choose. So the Soluto doesn't have complete safety features, but the interior is fantastic, and the audio system is fantastic, and it does have climate control. Sorry, it does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So it's a trade-off. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I don't care if I die. I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Oh
You know,
my God,
Okay. Let's
You
just
have Apple,
Chris!
Apple
How
Car.
If
about your
you-
wife and daughter?
no. I'm not
They
saying
get
you're
the
gonna
nicer
die
car.
if you get a Saluto. Okay, I'm not saying you'll
okay,
die
okay. At
if
what
you get in
point
a
did you say
Saluto. Not saying that at all. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the kind of mindset that you have. Okay, actually, I'm gonna look up the Saluto now,
To defend yourself.
No,
and I'm
okay.
gonna
Baka
look at the
distraction control.
specs.
Okay, what I find interesting is that just earlier in this conversation, he said, never, you know, never take the risk on safety.
Yeah.
And now he says, I'm willing to die because I
No,
like the
but
sound.
I mean but there are people who do. There are
No.
people who jump off planes, and there are people who drive fast, and they like to race cars. And I mean, there are
Yeah,
people
crazy
obviously.
people that there are.
So it really depends on your
Yeah.
priorities at the time.
Mhm.
Um,
No, and
yeah.
actually, in all honesty, remember we know this. We know that there are car companies that will launch a vehicle with all these safety systems and talk about them, and then they will back those safety systems up for the next buy, for the next set of cars that come in, and it's sometimes people just don't. They find that the audio system and the leather is what sells a car far more than saying, yeah, this will save your life.
Yeah.
Because they don't say that. We disagree with that completely, but it is a market. It's a market thing. And remember,
Oh yeah.
we've said this. Even if we talk to, let's say, Toyota or the brand, and we
Yeah.
say, why are you doing this? It's like, because we sell our cars to the dealers, and the dealers say we need this to buy the car, to
Yeah.
buy the car from you, so we in turn sell it.
Yep.
So all these little features that are comfort and luxury and sound and Apple CarPlay are what sell the cars.
Yeah. You can't keep everyone. So I think in that world you have all the safety features and all the accessories. But
Does anybody know
Like that
Hal
is-
from 2001? That's what Nick sounds like right now.
Okay, so I looked it up.
Yeah.
I have
You're
I have
frozen,
the Saluto.
Oh, sorry.
I have the Saluto up, and it has 2 airbags and ABS, and that's pretty much it.
That's it.
So
You can
not as complete as the others,
Mhm.
but it's still. I'd say this is the standard right now. The standard right now is dual airbags and ABS.
And
That's the
ABS.
very, very
Yeah.
bare minimum that every single car being sold now should have.
I think it follows already. Yes.
Yeah. So the 6 airbags and traction control. That's what we're trying to reach. That's what what other manufacturers are leading with. That other manufacturers should follow.
That's
But
the
for
new
now,
ABS.
the standard, I'd say, majority of cars now, at least affordable cars, have at least the 2 airbags and the ABS, which has been a
Yeah.
standard for like 20 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been around a while, so
Yeah.
it's about time that we see other manufacturers
more stuff,
step up.
yeah.
But
For me, traction control. That would be the day.
but these systems are expensive, so it's definitely it's tough on the product planning side to ask or to think about, okay, are we gonna put safety and skimp on all the other convenience features like uh, Android Auto and leather seats and the sunroof, or are we gonna just make the interior as nice as possible and just get the bare minimum, 2 airbags and ABS, which is what the Kia did. Kia has a really nice, enjoyable feature list and a really nice interior, but they went with the bare minimum safety requirements, which is okay.
Yeah.
In the
They
Soluto,
still
you're
have the dual
specifically.
airbag. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Soluto.
Okay,
Yeah.
They
okay.
still went with the dual airbags and the ABS, but I mean their stereo system and the comfort of the seats and the way it drives and the build quality, all fantastic. So it's
Someone's a
pretty
fan.
similar to you deciding whether you need health insurance or not. You know, so
Actually, that's a good way to
you
put
want to
it.
take that extra step of making really sure that your health is covered. Then you get health insurance. But then a lot of people are saying, well, I'm not gonna get sick. Need health insurance. I'm gonna pay an extra 30 grand. I'm fine. You know, there are people like that.
Yeah.
So it boils down to your own personal decision at the end of the day.
Mhm.
No, but at least now, we have the bare minimum of ABS and
Yeah.
dual airbags. I
Yeah.
remember back in um, 90, oh no, early 2000s, when the Civic the ES came out after the EK. Comparing it to the Altis of the time, the Altis already had, I think, a driver's side with dual airbags, and the Civic didn't even have an airbag or ABS. So at least now,
Yeah.
even at this price point, you get that. So
Yeah.
somehow, safety's coming into play, and who knows, in like 10, 15 years, you'll get all these autonomous emergency braking,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this price point. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
I think
actually,
it's
we go ahead. Go ahead, Nix.
I think it's also a way for brands to like have a good name because the like good press is saying that, oh, I survived the freak accident
Oh
because
yeah,
the brand that I was driving had all the
Mhm.
safeties that I needed
correct,
to survive.
correct.
So I guess
Yeah.
that comes into play na they really have to put these safety features because the last thing you want is, oh, I died in this brand.
I don't think anybody would say that, but anyway. Um,
Yeah, that is
no,
your
no, no.
brand.
But you're right. Here's a question, and this is something that again, there we have cars now, and my example is going to be again the NA Miata, which has been around 25 years. We don't know what to do with the airbags. Do they work? Do they not work? Should they be in the car or not anymore? Francis, as the tuner guy, how do people feel about these cars? They're tuning cars that are 20 years old, 15 years old. Um, how do they feel about these safety systems still being in the cars?
Well, I guess it there's no way to test the systems not unless something happens, you know. So I guess it's either you wait for it to happen or just leave it there. But for most sports cars, they don't have the safety systems. So I guess it's a matter of what kind of car you have and does it come with safety equipment or not? Because otherwise, I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you're enjoying the car. But to add to
That's
So
the
you're the
the
tuner
jump out of the plane kind
perspective.
of guy.
yeah, but to add to what we're saying, I mean, it doesn't only boil down to cars that are cars only because even the Maxus, the pickup, it already has dual airbags and EBD. I mean, it just goes to show that the technology is also coming into play for pickups also, which are not major brands. I mean,
Okay, you
we're
lost
complaining
me.
about the Maxus.
Okay.
I think your camera overheated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Anyway,
a bit
there. Okay. So
yeah.
I'm gonna hand off. So we're gonna wrap up then.
Yeah, I guess that's a sign that we have to wrap up.
Okay.
No,
Well,
but that's
coming from
interesting
the
on the
blank
tuner
space,
perspective. Yeah.
coming from the
Yeah.
blank space, this is me, Carl. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm gonna hand off, and Chris, you wrap up.
Well,
Say goodbye
Final
to everyone.
words.
why do you like doing this, Carl? Okay. And he's
Oh, yeah.
gone. All right. Thanks, everybody. This has been Cars Casually, talking about the most affordable cars with complete safety specs you can buy in the market now.
For
And
under
this
a
has
million.
been
Yeah.
for under a million. And this has been
Okay, no.
Carl, who just left, Nix, G, Francis, and Paolo saying goodbye and stay safe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.